Both you and I have been talking about our entrepreneurial clients who are looking to start new businesses. We've been helping them put business plans together to raise capital and to look at the various government grants and other research and development deductibilities that are available. And both you and I think that accountants need to know more about this because some clients are not being advised correctly. So I thought this could be an opportunity. Explain to me, what is allowable research and development expenditure?
Research and development is available to a company. Unfortunately, it's not available for any other type of entity. And it relates to someone having an idea and documenting that idea. Basically, the government will not fund someone researching something that the knowledge has already been determined. So it needs to be in the pursuit of new knowledge. The whole system is on a self-assessment basis in that the company does its own research to determine whether it might be eligible. There's a need then to identify an hypothesis. You then have to undertake some experiments to either prove or disprove them. All of this needs to be documented. And if you've spent more than $20,000 on this process in a 12-month period, then the company is able to lodge an application for a research and development incentive rebate, which for companies under $20 million is calculated at 43.5% of the eligible research and development expenditure. I've been concerned for some time that there is, I think, a significant amount of research and development activities being undertaken by small businesses, medium-sized enterprises, without an awareness of what they can claim. Some people are aware, of course, but others aren't.
No.
And part of this problem is accountants not fully understanding how it works. It doesn't happen every day, and it's not going to apply to every client. The risk for small and medium-sized accounting firms from that is that if the client has developed something that is very good, they're probably going to lose the client because they're going to be encouraged to go somewhere else. I see it as being an opportunity for an accountant to literally be growing with their client, that they can help them as they undertake these research and development activities to then perhaps move into some other government grants like the Accelerating Commercialization Grant, which will assist the company to commercialize their technology. There's a grant of up to $1 million on a 50-50 basis. And that can help get that research or that prototype or whatever it's being developed into the marketplace.
The client spends $500,000 and then the government gives them $500,000 through the Accelerating Commercialization Grant.
That's right. And that money from the government is made available as the company incurs that expenditure. So it's not in arrears. The government actually pays in advance on that program. So a budget's got to get submitted to Oz Industry. Yep. They approve it. And in fact, the government pays the first first tranche of the money for the first 3 months in advance. And then based on what you spend of that and what your budget is for the next 3 months, you get your next tranche of money. And so it works on. So it's a very good government program.
And if they can't get that, they might be able to get an early stage innovation company grant.
Yes, this is a fantastic opportunity for both the companies who are looking to raise capital and investors.
So how does it help the investors?
Well, the investors get a tax rebate off their tax bill, calculated at 20% of their investment, but there are investment sublimits. For a retail investor, the maximum investment they can make in that type of company is $50,000. Yep. So if they invest up to $50,000, they get a 10 grand rebate off their tax return. But if they're a sophisticated investor, the rebate is still 20%, but the maximum amount is $200,000. So that's obviously calculated on $1 million.
So how can ESS BIZTOOLS help accounting firms learn more about all of the rules about what qualifies and what doesn't?
Well, we have product packages which are pre-prepared, starting at the very beginning and working through, that accountants use. The big one is a significantly upgraded research and development product package, which starts with an idea, that your client has got an idea. Where do they go to from there? Very much similar to what the government envisages happens in universities when research projects have been undertaken. And experiments have to be documented, and the expenditure has to be able to be accounted for. So you need to set up the summaries. But if you can do it like that, some businesses receive very high amounts paid back to them.
So if I spent $1 million on a project, R&D, and it qualified through the audit of making sure it's ideas, research, hypotheses proved, and we're ready to move and commercialize it. If I spent $1 million, do I get a rebate from the ATO, or is it just credited against my tax?
Let's take a hypothetical and say that company has traded at a loss of $500,000 for the 12-month period. In the company's tax return, they can elect to get a cash refund, and the tax office will pay $435,000 into that company's bank account within 30 days of the tax return being lodged. The government were very specific in their instructions to the tax office. They want that money to flow because guess what? That money that gets reinvested normally in further research and development.
And that might allow them to move into an accelerating commercialization grant or an early stage innovation grant, or even professional investors, sophisticated investors, or even crowdsourced funding.
The funding of the business is one of the most important things. And yes, these company structures and government grants are in place to help companies do that funding.
This is, to me, imperative that accountants understand these options, be able to educate their clients.
Part of our marketing material within this updated product package is for accountants to utilize to alert their clients that these things are on. And if someone's got a good idea, one of the first steps is to have a conversation with him or her, and then if they've got something that looks positive, get them into a company, because they can't claim any of this unless they are a company.